Hey everyone, Chris here from Varsity Gaming, and today I'm looking at the patch notes for the title update 2.2.2 in Rainbow Six Siege. So I looked at these patch notes during the stream today, and overall I thought I was going to be pretty happy with them until I looked at them more in depth. The parts that disappoint me aren't until the end, so I won't look into them too much right now, but I'm going to show you guys the first few parts that are actually happening tomorrow, August 9th. So the first few things listed on the patch notes is dedicated servers for both custom matches and terrorist hunt. Overall, this really won't affect too many people, but this will be kind of nice for people who want to make a full 10-person lobby and don't want someone to host. This way you can have a dedicated server for that and also invite people. Up until this patch, any private custom match had to be hosted from a peer-to-peer network. This sucked a lot for streamers and other players because, for example, whenever I wanted to make a 10-person custom game lobby for stream, I would not be able to invite half the people because for some reason people just can't connect to me. This is the issue with peer-to-peer networks, and they're trying to phase that out. And the change to Terrorist Hunt is just that it'll be on a dedicated server now, so there won't be issues with host migration. And now we'll move on to dedicated servers for in-game voice chat. So this is a pretty big thing in the patch, is they're trying to improve the voice chat system in this game. I don't know about the rest of you, but I've always had plenty of issues with voice chat in this game. One of the worst being is that everyone is always at a different mic level. And this isn't just an issue with people's microphones and settings, it's just an issue with voice chat in the game. When I'm playing with my friends and we're talking on Discord, I never have any issue with their mic volumes. They're all equally the same and don't sound bad. But as soon as one person talks in game, one is almost inaudible, the other one is way too loud. So with these new dedicated servers and this voice chat system called Vivox, it'll be a lot more clear to hear people, and also will use less bandwidth, which is good for people who don't have that much bandwidth in a month. This voice chat change will come out to PC first and then console later, so keep tabs on that if you're a console player. And probably my favorite part of this patch note is the more accurate vaulting animation while aiming. I can't tell you how many times I've been waiting at a window for someone to push through, and then they jump through the window and shoot me while looking straight ahead. On their screen they're looking far left and can easily see me, but in the vaulting animation they're looking straight ahead and I can't even see their head. As you can see in the GIF down below, the player's animation matches a lot more with how they would be aiming. If someone vaults through and immediately looks left, now in the game they'll actually be looking left right away. This should help a lot for inconsistencies in the game, as the vaulting animation has been an issue for a long time. And now we're going to move on to the elite skin. Pulse is finally getting an elite skin, which, I don't know about the rest of you, I personally am not a huge fan of. Personally, I don't think that this skin really complements his ability. All the other operators have had skins that at least had something to do with their ability and their look, whereas Pulse just looks completely different and has so far no relevance to his kit. That being said, before people call me out, I am obviously going to buy it because people want to see content in it, and I'm going to provide that. Also, you never know. I said the same thing about Rook's Elite skin. I said I would never buy it and that I thought it looked awful, and when I actually saw it in-game, it looked way better than I had expected. So I guess this isn't something we should judge right away and wait for the patch to actually see how it looks. And beyond that, there really isn't much else. There's a lot of bug fixes down below, and I'll try to skim through them quickly, but really all that's left is that they'll be giving us a few rewards for people who have been waiting through Operation Health. The big ones being a Doc headgear and a revolver skin for people who own the Season Pass, and then if you don't own a Season Pass, just a little Operation Health charm. This is their way of saying thank you for waiting for 3 months for no new content and disappointment. And now we're going to move on to the actual disappointment and something that I'm actually incredibly frustrated with. So while I was reading these patch notes on stream, I went through this little segment of the patch notes and I assumed that, without reading too far into it, that they were completely removing peer-to-peer in the game. This is something that's been such a long-standing issue. I can't even describe how irritating it is that I can't play with friends because the peer-to-peer connections in this game. I have friends that I want to play with all the time, but whenever I try to invite them, they can't join on me, and whenever they try to invite me, I can't join on them. The only way we're ever able to play with each other is if we have a middleman. This is someone who can actually host and we can all connect to. But as soon as that person leaves, we gotta say goodbye to everyone else because we can't play with each other. And this is incredibly frustrating because they've been announcing upgraded servers and peer-to-peer removal for a long time, and yet they still haven't released it. They're saying it's going to be deployed in the future after 2.2.2 and during Season 3. This is fairly vague, and if they don't release it at the launch of Season 3, they're basically saying that Season 3 is also going to be Operation Health 2.0. As you can see here in the Operation Health roadmap, it says what their goal was for the Operation Health season. Right here, under number 1, it says 100% server-based features and faster servers. This is 2 of the biggest things that they said in the patch notes and on the roadmap, and they are not completing them. Now if they get rid of all the peer-to-peer networks with the Season 3 launch, then I won't be so upset. But if they wait until after the new operators drop to release this, then I'm going to be incredibly irate. I was already telling my friends, so excited, saying, hey, we can finally play together with no issues starting tomorrow, and then I finally look into the patch notes and actually read every single thing, and it says, oh, Yeah, it's not happening yet, even though we said it's going to happen. Like, great, they removed the peer-to-peer and voice chat. Wonderful. How about actually being able to play with each other? Allowing us to talk to each other is great and dandy, but I can't actually talk to them if they can't even join my lobby. And they even say here in the patch notes that they tested the peer-to-peer removal on the technical test servers. But they say they won't be able to implement it until they collect all the data. If it worked, I'm kind of confused as to what the issue is. Granted, there could be bugs that we don't know about, but it's still really concerning that they're implementing this so late into the season and clearly weren't ready to actually complete it all by the end of the season. So what's this mean? Basically, another 3 weeks of not being able to connect to my friends and having to play solo queue because I can't actually play with them. And on top of that, it's even more frustrating when I'm trying to play on stream. For those of you who don't know, every Friday I try to play with followers and subscribers on Twitch. So that means if you're watching the stream that I'll invite you to the game and play with me. But half the time I can't actually invite people because for whatever reason people just can't connect to me. The only workaround we found for this is to find someone who actually can host and I join on them and invite other people. But it's such a hassle to do and really shouldn't be a thing in this game almost 2 years after release. This is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, that's my little rant about this. This is the most frustrating part of the patch notes that I've had to deal with. And I'm really disappointed in Ubisoft with their inability to keep up with their roadmap. And I know when Operation Health was announced, they said, oh, the roadmap is not 100% concrete. We can make changes to it. This is the second time in 1 year that they've already changed from their roadmap. And like I said, unless I see the peer-to-peer get completely removed by the launch of Season 3, I am not going to be happy about this. And I'm definitely going to make a rant video about it. But anyways, we're going to move on to the rest of the bug fixes. There's only really 1 or 2 things that I want to highlight to you guys. Here we can see that Hibana is getting fixed for like the 50th time so far. There's still been issues even after they quote-unquote fixed her during Operation Health, saying that she would no longer have issues. Her X-Kyros still aren't 100% reliable. I've had plenty of times where I've been using a Hibana on a wall, it detonates, and then there's still some floating debris just sitting there, and it completely prevents us from pushing in because we can't crouch walk in. Instead, we'd have to lay down, which makes us way too susceptible. So at least they're hopefully finally fixing that, but we've been saying hopefully they're fixing Hibana for like a year now, so I'm not going to hold my breath. And the one other really important thing I want to look at, I'm not entirely sure if this is what I think it is, but if it is, then I'm going to be kind of happy. So for those of you who don't play Secure Area, there's a bug that's been around for quite a while. The bug is that if you're on top of a surface and then drop down while you're contesting the area, while you're dropping from the top of the surface to the bottom, you no longer contest the area. This can really suck if there's absolutely 0% captured and you're on the attacking team and you're the last one on site. So say it's a 1v1 in Secure Area and you're contesting with 0% captured. And the timer is run out, so that means that if you leave the secure area, you immediately lose. If you're on top of a surface and drop down, that counts as leaving the area and you lose that round because you decide to drop. And again, I don't know if this actually has something to do with it. It just says interrupted by stepping over debris. That could just mean stuff on the ground, but I'm hoping it means actually dropping from a surface down to another one. I will test it tomorrow and we'll see. And the last one I want to talk about is the Valkyrie's black eye glitch being fixed on Bank. For those of you who don't know, there was a glitch where Valkyrie could throw a camera outside by the alley access, and the camera would fall outside of bounds. And then when a defender hopped on the camera and scanned, it would scan all the attackers across the map regardless if it could see them or if it was in their view. This was an exploit that pretty much made Bank unplayable, as you really could not do anything as attackers, while the defenders could know exactly where you are at all times. And while I'm happy that that's fixed, there's still other issues very prevalent in the game. The other day, me and my friends were playing ranked and we lost a round because Twitch managed to glitch her drone inside the floor. This is common on a lot of maps like Plain, House, and Bartlett University. You can essentially throw the drone inside the floorboards and use it to scan anyone you see or even hurt them if it's a Twitch drone. So while they fixed one, there's still another one that they need to fix, and I hope they get it done soon because it is very annoying playing those maps where you can glitch your drones. And really beyond that, there's not much else to talk about. A lot of these fixes are very minor and stuff no one would really notice. So I'm not going to talk about the rest of them, but if you do want to take a look, I'm going to put a link for the patch notes in the description down below, so you can go check them out there. And that's going to conclude the patch notes video. Sorry I went off on a little bit of a rant there, but I am pretty frustrated with the fact that they're not removing peer-to-peer yet. And we'll hopefully see that this patch actually fixes a lot of issues tomorrow and doesn't cause more issues like normal. But really, time will tell. Anyways, take care guys, and I'll see you in the next video.